The world has completely frozen and disappeared. There is a global collapse. At first, humanity, which wants to get rid of the effects of global warming, makes a fatal mistake that it should never make. Climate change is inevitable, and human life is in great danger. Scientists design a cooling substance called CW7. The purpose of this substance is to cool the atmosphere and prevent global warming. CW7, which was released into the atmosphere with great hopes to reduce its effects and lower the temperature to normal levels, did not have the expected effect, but instead started a great ice age by rapidly lowering the temperature of the world. Scientists and politicians who would save the world from this collapse lost their lives by freezing just like other ordinary people. The world is no longer a place to live. An engineer named Wilford builds a great train of doom, and the people who can ride it survive. The design of the train is based on the fact that it will never stop. If the train stops, it will freeze like everything else. 17 years after the freeze, the train continues on its way. There are 3 different class systems on the train. The elite group, which makes up 1% of the population, lives at the front of the train. Bars, restaurants, spacious and comfortable rooms are arranged for this class. These people, who can benefit from all the privileges on the train, enjoy their lives in luxury, away from the effects of the apocalypse. They live in the middle of the train and are responsible for cleaning, security, and maintenance of the train. They do not enjoy the privileges of the first class, but at least they are fed, and they have the chance to ride this train of doom, which they would never be able to ride under normal circumstances. The last group is made up of ticketless passengers who have stowed away on the train. They are treated like farm animals. They live in the tail of the train where there is no light. They are given a jelly-like food containing protein. As food, the people living here are extremely worthless and are subject to harsh, strict rules. They are allowed to live when they stow away on the train. In order to guarantee the comfort and security of the elite, the middle-class workers must be kept in line. The standard of living in the queue is an example to the middle class and makes them feel valued. The people in the queue are essential to prevent the middle class from revolting. The leader of those in the queue is Curtis. He did not ask for this title. Those in the queue trust and respect him. Curtis and those around him are planning a rebellion attempt for a more just life. Their aim is to change the order on the train. It comes in some encrypted capsules among the daily food items. The capsules are sent by an informant from the inside. It is not yet known who this informant is. Informant. This in his message this time. He gives information about one of the designers of the train named Nam. Nam is currently detained in the prison section. If they can save him, he will help them reach the next wagons of the train. Curtis has no intention of giving up, and this time he has a more detailed plan. The spiritual leader of the tailgaters is an old man named Gilliam, who has no arms and legs. While talking with Curtis about the plan, the guards arrive and start measuring the height of every child in the queue. They decide to take 2 children named Timmy, and Andy, Timmy's mother, begs them not to take her child, and there is a small brawl. Meanwhile, the father of the other child throws his shoe at the woman, taking the children away. The shoe hits the woman in the face, and the woman's face bleeds. After the incident, the guards restore calm and catch the man who threw the shoe named Andrew. They make the other passengers in the queue kneel down, while a senior executive named Mason is preparing for a speech. 2 officers are preparing Andrew for something. They take the right arm of Andrew out of the train where he threw the shoe. They take him out of the train. He will be out for 7 minutes. Mason makes a stern speech to the passengers in the queue. He says that the order of the train is more important than anything else. He compares the passengers in the back to shoes. A shoe is for the foot. A shoe is for the foot. A hat is for the head. A hat is for the head. I am the hat. You are the shoes. Meanwhile, Andrew is moaning in pain. He says you can't use a shoe for your head. My place is at the front of the train. Your place is at the back. He then advises those in the queue to be thankful that they are alive. 7 minutes have passed. Andrew's arm is completely frozen. The guards hit his frozen arm with a hammer. His arm instantly disintegrates. Andrew is lying on the ground in pain. Mason says this should be a lesson to everyone. The tailgaters are furious. They work on the plan all night. The next day, as soon as the food arrives, the plan is put into action. Curtis attacks the first guard. The others attack as well. They manage to take over the prison section in this way. They find Namai, the designer mentioned in the last message from the informant. Nam says he can help them, but he wants Kronol in return. Kronol is a kind of drug, and he and his daughter Yona are addicted to it. Curtis agrees. Nam opens the next door of his own design. When they enter, each of them is dazzled because they haven't seen daylight for years. They look outside for a long time, and then they go to the kitchen where the jellies that the people in the queue eat every day are made. Curtis is horrified when he realizes how the jellies are made. The jellies they eat every day are made from cockroaches and insects. They will continue to move forward. When Nam opens the next door, he sees a large group with axes waiting for them. A war begins in which many people will lose their lives on both sides. The war is interrupted when Mason arrives in the region. Mason begins his speech by saying to those in the queue, "You filthy ungrateful people, if it wasn't for Wilford, you would have died years ago," and continues his speech in this context. He continues and gives the order to kill 74% of the people living in the queue. When the train enters the tunnel, the group with axes puts on night vision goggles and attacks. Most of Curtis's men die, but they attack again with torches. They manage to catch Mason. Those in the queue want to kill Mason, but they need him for the next carriages. They ask him where the children are who were taken away. The Mason says that the children are with Wilford, who owns the train, but he doesn't know what Wilford did to the children. He says that he can take Curtis to the front of the train. If he spares his life, he guarantees his safety. Curtis doesn't trust him, but he has no other choice. He goes to the front of the train with a few people he takes with him. The others will wait behind Andrew in revenge, puts his shoe on the Mason's head. The next cubicle is a school for children. A man with a cart full of boiled eggs approaches them. A man gives a basket of eggs to the teacher and heads to the back of the line as the people in the line gather to receive eggs. Suddenly, the teacher pulls a gun out of the eggs and kills many of the people in the queue. At the same time, the teacher pulls a gun out of the basket. The teacher is killed in a shootout, but before he dies, Andrew is shot, and Gilliam, the leader of the queue, is among the dead. Curtis kills the Mason in anger to take revenge and continues to move forward. The more he sees the standard of living of privileged people, the angrier he gets. After passing the bar where young people have fun, they finally reach Wilford's door, which is beyond Nam's abilities to open. They sit for a while and Nam explains that he is not an addict, but he is planning to make a bomb from the drugs he has collected. He will blow a hole in the train and get out, saying that life is possible outside. As he is about to set off the bomb, Wilford's assistant shoots him in the leg and then takes Curtis to Wilford. Wilford explains to Curtis that the rules of this train must be very close to the established order in the world and that their survival depends on it. Curtis confesses that he is the informant who sent the information. Curtis confesses that he is the informant whose aim is to start a riot in the queue every few years. He incites the people in the queue to riot so that the population is controlled. He reveals the shocking information. Later, Gilliam, who always shares the pain of the people in the queue, knows about all this. He is helping Wilford from the inside. Curtis lives a great disappointment. Meanwhile, Nam has recovered and is trying to complete the bomb with his daughter Yona. Yona bursts into the room to ask for help Curtis. Just at this moment, Curtis learns the fate of the children who are being taken away. The children are working between the engines of the train. The space is narrow, so only small children can enter. Wilford has chosen the worthless children in the queue instead of the children in the first class. For this dangerous mission, Curtis cannot stand this fact and attacks Wilford. Outside, Nam fires the bomb and the train derails Yona, and her team manage to survive the train. It is not as cold outside as before. There is still hope. There is still hope. We have come to the end of this video, so do not forget to like and subscribe to this video to support me. Waiting for your thoughts on the movie in the comments. Goodbye, to see you in the next video.